Homework set number 3. First of all, we have here a code review task. The requirements is as following. We will develop a student's grade info that takes an ID for students, and then it allows the following tasks. You can add a grade, which is a grade of a course and the course name. You can print all of the current grades, and you can get the total grades sum. As part of the description here of this function, it is written that this function adds a new course only if the course isn't already added. If it is added, it will be ignored and the old value will not be overwritten. The grade maximum is 100 here, and yeah, this all. So this is the overall task here. So here is the main. You create an object. You start to add grade for math, for programming 1, programming 2. You can print, which is going to print this information, and you can also get the total grades, which is like 225, the sum of these three numbers, out of 300 for 3 times 100. Remember, 100 per task. Let's get in the details of the classes. We have here the, this is the class, this is the init method, which is just having some grades here, courses names list. Adjust grade is a function implemented to do some adjustment. Please read and understand. Here is the add grade task. It just take the two things and try to add them. And this is a print function, which is using a global variable statistics total prints. Yeah, here this variable, a global var. And this is the total grade sum returning tuple of 2 values. Read the code and understand it, and then provide code review for it. In the second task, we would like to do some software testing, but let me give you some background. You might read these two codes for some anonymous guys. There is what we call black box testing. And it means to focus on the what, not the how of the functionalities. Like, let's say you are expected to use 3 specific methods of the class. This is what the customer or the user of the class will use them. Then you focus on the what, like I give you X, you provide me with Y. That's all. So this is what and how. The white box go in the details. So it's more about the what and the how together. In programming languages like C++ and Java, given that there are private sections and public sections, we typically go more with the black box testing unless we would like to do some workarounds to do the white box testing. In Python, we actually can get in the details if we would like in an easy way. Anyway, I thought to make it easy for you, this is a class I named the student's grade info tester, and I added here 4 class methods for the testing. And these are the 4 methods, the 3 methods mainly for the test, and one of the methods is called test to all. That is going to call all of these functions. Observe this nice thing here. I created a list of methods. You see here I have the class, and they are or class method. I put here the method grade sum without parentheses, and the grade sum. Oh, I duplicated it. It should be like a grade sum, total courses count, and printing. This one should be a list of these 3 methods. Now here you are iterating on every call out of these 3 calls, and call now is a method. Once you call, you put the parentheses, you make a call. The moral of that is, you see how flexible Python is. You are creating list of methods, you are iterating here, you are calling them. This is great about Python. Anyway, for now, I would like you to think how to test these 3, write content in these 3 methods to test them. For the printing one, you don't need to print it. You don't need to code it. Just write how will you solve it. That's all. In the third problem, we would like to make a code extension for the previous code. Specifically, we would like to provide some iteration functionality to the code. However, why? Because the current code is limited in printing. It forces a print, and it prints it to the console, and it prints all the content. And this is a very bad design. For some reasons, we cannot change the previous code. So one idea is to extend it. Your team leader suggested the following. Create a new class that takes an object, that guy, and then it provides some iterating capabilities. Let's see a code here. This is your new main. This is the old class that you are adding in it normally the very items. But you are creating a new object here of type info iterator. You pass the object to it, and then you can here iterate on this object. Find your way to implement this class to support this iteration style. The fourth problem is a wrapper. Wrapper is a common design pattern or an idea. Let me give you an industrial scenario. Sometimes we borrow libraries from the open source library. The open source is like, for simplicity now, it's a community that provide you a ready-made code, well tested most of the time, with some license limitations, and you can use it if you would like. Now, this is great because it saves our time, but also there are a lot of complications. Let me highlight here one of them. Sometimes there might be a lot of hidden bugs, so this might be an issue. Sometimes the guys who are using the library declare that they will stop maintaining it anymore. Now, if you are, let's say that you have 20 classes that is using this class here, which is coming from an open source library. What happens is now you have to fix this library by yourself or write your own one. If you wrote your own one, all of these codes has to be changed. There is a better idea here that we follow in the industry, if we have such like potential effortness of the change or the maintenance. We create a wrapper class. The wrapper class idea is very simple. It provides you exactly with the same functionality as the student's grade info, or adapt it a little bit if you would like. And the idea is, with every call to the adapter wrapper, you just pass the call to the local object. So the wrapper is a class that has internally an object of type student's grade info. And let's say you ask the wrapper to print, then the wrapper goes to the student grade info and call print. It's just what we call delegation. You delegate the call from the external object to the internal object. That's all. See the code here for an example for that.